Hello, everybody. This is Chris from Big Talk with Chris and Gregg. Hey, I just wanted to thank everybody for listening to part 1 and 2 on our series about movie soundtracks. Just a reminder, you can get a hold of us on Instagram at BigTalkCG. You can also shoot us some email at bigtalkcg@gmail.com. Let us know what are some of your favorite movie soundtracks, which are the ones you love, which ones do you hate. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know. Thank you very much for listening, and now on to part 3. All right, guys, here we go. Part 1, boom, down. Part 2, boom, down. Part 3, movie soundtracks. Songs from movies. Our favorites. Let's just continue. I mean, can't stop, won't stop, I guess.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm ready, man. I still got a whole list.
You got I've seen your book of notes.
It's in my mind. What are you talking about, notes?
We're going to be part 17. Who's going to go longer, us or Friday the 13th?
Oh, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they're already at like 74.
Right.
Yeah. You're pretty close to 74.
I'm close.
You are.
But no cigar.
No cigar. Okay, hey, so let's go ahead and just continue. Let's get this discussion continued on for part 3. One of them might surprise you a little bit. One of my favorite movies that's came out in recent years was The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman.
Nice.
I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Yeah, definitely saw that one.
I went into it saying to myself, all right, I'll watch it. We'll check it out. Man, right from the get-go, the first song, the title track, Greatest Show, Hugh Jackman, I was like, I had to pause it and be like, dude, is he really singing this? Dude, man, you go and yeah, it's Hugh Jackman. And he can act, he can fight, he can sing, he can shoot freaking blades out of his fist. He can do it all. I've seen him in WWE. And now he's singing. And man, I couldn't get enough of this movie. I have the soundtrack on my phone. I listen to it. My wife listens to it. She loves it. We all love it. But man, the songs on this are really, it's almost like you would think it was like a theater production first, and then it went to a movie. But really, it's just the movie. And man, the first track, Greatest Show, Hugh Jackman sings it. It's really like, it's really strong. It's strong. It really hits you hard.
All right.
Then there's a lot of other songs on there that are great. Million Dreams is amazing song. One of the highlights for me that I really like in that movie, and the scene is just good, is Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron are in a bar, and Hugh Jackman is trying to get him to partner up with him. He plays P.T. Barnum is Hugh Jackman's character, and they do this song called Other Side, and man, it's a great song. The scene is great. The dance moves are great. I'm seeing it in my mind right now, and man, I can't get enough of it. It stands alone on its own. Another great song is Never Enough. It's one of the bigger songs in the movie. Hugh Jackman's character is looking for another act for his show. He wants to hire this singer. Her character's name is Jenny Lind. It's played by Rebecca Ferguson. She's like the biggest singer in the world. He needs her, or he wants her to do like a show in his show. And she actually, the thing is, the Rebecca Ferguson who plays the actress actually doesn't sing the songs. It's Lauren Allred does the singing for the part. But Never Enough, great song. Another one is This Is Me. It's kind of an ensemble thing. It's because basically what he has is a bunch of people. It's, the P.T. Barnum story. Short of calling it a freak show, it's a freak show. You have the bearded woman. You have the small person riding on the horse. You have all those kind of characters. And there's a song, This Is Me, where it's kind of like a point where they just, this is us. They're kind of coming to terms with themselves. It's a really strong song. Emotional song. It's just empowering. It's great. Then there's, of course, there's, like they always have in movies, there's the love story, underlying love story. Zendaya and Zac Efron's characters, they have a song Rewrite the Stars. Great song. I think I may have even heard it on the radio before. I think that one may have been out on the radio. Great song, great voices. You know, you don't realize, you know, how multi-talented some of these young actors and actresses are, and I can appreciate it. It may not be, you know, all the time exactly the stuff that I listen to or want to listen to or up my alley, but I can appreciate stuff when it's good, no matter what it is. And top to bottom, Greatest Showman soundtrack, as far as things that have been out recently, to my knowledge, one of the better ones that I've heard.
Nice. Anything else from that movie that you loved? I mean, from the beginning to end, you said you loved it, the movie and stuff like that. I want to say I saw it too. I don't think I took away from what you got from it. I thought the soundtrack was good. The songs were good. It fit, and it told a good story. I mean, from what it was, it was all right.
I maybe I took away a little bit more from it than what you did, but I just thought it was so well done. Like I can say, maybe the fact when I went into it thinking I'm gonna regret watching this, I'm gonna hate it, it's gonna be crap. They don't make musicals like they used to. It's almost like a throwback.
Okay.
It's almost like a throwback to musicals that they used to make. They don't make them like this anymore. Why am I gonna watch it? Man, I watched it. I was like, wow, this is really good. And the fact that, you know, a lot of times in some of these movies, we'll talk about some later, where the actors that are portraying people or that are playing characters, they're not the ones singing. Zendaya's singing, Efron's singing, Hugh Jackman is singing. Some of the minor characters are actually singing their parts. It's just the one that I talked about that really doesn't do her singing. But I mean, when you listen to that song, you're like, yeah, they needed to get the other girl to sing it. I mean, it's an amazing song. So I think it was, you know, you pile the surprise factor onto everything, and, you know, having enjoyed, you know, musicals before, you know, I come from, you know, enjoying some things that I've seen on the stage, you know, like Phantom of the Opera and stuff like that. I really like. It was really a throwback, and I really enjoyed it. And as far as musicals, as of late, doesn't get really any better, I think, than The Greatest Showman.
Nice. One of the movies I want to talk about next is a movie my wife loves called Xanadu, from the 70s. Olivia Newton-John, kind of a futuristic, artsy film where there's a lot of roller skating, a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, a lot of good versus evil. Two of the songs from that, the most that stuck out for me is, of course, Magic, Olivia Newton-John doing that song, which also probably is a hit single for her because I think she still sings it today in her live concerts. And the actual song Xanadu from Olivia Newton-John and Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO. You know, two great songs from a soundtrack from the 70s. It's great, man. These, you know, set in Los Angeles. Great stuff. You know, I mean, what more can you get from that kind of stuff?
I don't think I've seen that movie. Of course, I'm familiar with Olivia Newton-John, but
are you familiar with Magic, like that single?
I know what Magic is. I've seen it. I've seen it perform.
You've seen
it's all an illusion. I saw someone make the space shuttle disappear once. Was that David? Not David Coverdale.
Copperfield?
Yeah, David Copperfield.
Okay, no,
but I don't know any of the songs. I don't know.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, did that come out at the same time as Saturday Night Fever?
I would probably say after.
After?
Yeah, so maybe there was a following or something after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just seem to miss the boat on that one. I think that maybe it was just before my time. Something maybe I need to go back and look at. I told you guys at the end of the last episode that I was going to kind of flash back on some stuff, and one thing I really wanted to talk about was some more John Hughes, and two movies in particular that I wanted to talk about were Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles. Now, I know, Greg, you've seen both of these movies. I mean, who hasn't seen them? But Pretty in Pink, one of the, John Hughes movies, Breakfast Club is probably the biggest one. 16 Candles is probably right there too. But Pretty in Pink, if you look at all the movies he's done, that's probably the one that I think has the best soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, If You Leave by OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, was a big hit. I remember seeing it on MTV. It was great. Another minor hit from there was Left of Center with Suzanne Vega. I don't remember it being out, but I know it was released as a single. I don't remember hearing it. I wasn't into it. Was kind of more of a new wave kind of thing, and I really wasn't into that.
Yes.
Of course, dude, the Psychedelic Furs, the title track,
Right.
Pretty in Pink, is a jam, dude.
That is a jam.
Dude, I have that, man. I when I hear that song, I crank it. It's right up there when it comes to the John Hughes soundtracks, right up there with Simple Minds. Don't You Forget About Me. It's like, just, that's number one. That one's just right underneath it. And man, when I hear that song, I just crank it, dude. I crank it if I'm listening on my radio, put it in a mix, maybe just kind of, just chilling.
Right.
I love it. Another song that many people may not be familiar with is Bring on the Dancing Horses by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Okay. Yeah.
And really, when that, I didn't see most of these movies when they came out because of just my age. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have access to go to the movie theaters by myself. I've already documented how I lived in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not riding my bicycle hours to get into the city. But so I had to go back and revisit these. So some of the songs that are on some of these soundtracks, unless they were the big songs in the movie, I retroactively had to go back and listen to them. And that's one song that I went back, and when I've listened to the soundtrack, I'm like, oh my God, dude, this song is really good. And it's new wave. It's not really up my alley. But like I've said before, dude, if a song is good, if it's done well, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's a good song. And man, that Bring on the Dancing Horses by Echo and the Bunnymen, I listen to it. I usually listen to it and go back and repeat and listen to it twice in a row, dude. I just think it's a great, great song. You guys, if you haven't heard it, when you're done listening, jot it down. Bring on the Dancing Horses by Echo and the Bunnymen, and go listen to it. It's a great song. I love it. Are there any other songs on there? Or am I pretty much hitting all the high points?
You're hitting all the high points for me too.
Another one, another John Hughes movie that I wanted to talk about was 16 Candles.
Yes,
one of my favorites. I think everybody has seen this one. It's just hilarious. It's funny, quintessential John Hughes. Now here's the funny thing about John Hughes, the soundtrack for that is it was actually only released as a 5-song mini album. So it isn't really like one of these LPs that had side 1, side 2, we're going to put 12 songs on here, 10 songs, whatever's going to fit. It was only 5 songs, and the highlight of that was Thompson Twins, the song that was at the end of the movie, gosh darn it, and song escapes me right now, the name of it, but man, the fact that was only, there were 5 tracks released for that album was just mystifying. I mean, 30 songs in the movie, but let's just put out a little mini album and let it go at that.
Yeah, that didn't sound like they just put 5 out.
Yeah, so when I go back and you watch that movie, it's the music really plays is like the backbone of it, like a lot of John Hughes movies are. And it's unfortunate that movie didn't really get its due as far as a release. And maybe I'm sure they won't do it now, but it would have been nice for them to like retroactively have done that. But we don't have no control over that.
The song about the Thompson Twins, was that one, If You Were Here?
Yes, that's it. If You Were Here. That's it. That's the one that takes place at the end when Molly Ringwald's character and Jake Ryan kiss.
Yes.
And If You Were Here. And man, that's a good jam. But that was really the only song on that little 5-song. I think they had the 16 Candles by Stray Cats might have been on that. I don't know if that Happy Birthday was on there. I can't remember who sang it. It was like Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can't remember who sang it. I think that might have been another one that was on there, but Man, I mean, jams in that whole song.
You know what song is on there that I love? Turning Japanese.
Oh,
By the Vapors.
by the Vapors, dude. Yeah, that's. I mean, think about it. The school dance. I mean, there were great songs throughout that whole movie, and you know, can't get enough.
Yeah.
Can't get enough. Wish they would have had a full soundtrack for that. Could have had them all in one spot.
Right. I think another good song was True by Spandau Ballet.
Yeah, that
was another
that song.
hit. I
plays
mean, I
at
think it was a hit before it was on that soundtrack, but that still brought that song onto another level.
I think that plays when they're at the gym, you know, the little high school gym dance.
Yeah.
And man, you say the songs and I'm flashing back. I'm thinking about the scene in the movie. So, but yeah, I definitely those two John Hughes movies. Unfortunately, 16 Candles didn't have the soundtrack. Pretty in Pink,
Right.
probably of the John Hughes, the strongest one by far. By far.
I got two movies from director, which I'm going to talk about. Well, one is Dazed and Confused, Richard Linklater. Love his movies, especially Dazed and Confused, and another one of his movies called Everybody Wants Some. So Dazed and Confused, about the last day of school in the 70s. Head to toe, this soundtrack is super, super killer. Good songs. Go with, even though they only play 20, 30 seconds of each song, but it sets the tone. It sets the feeling of the scene and stuff like that. Some of them that are my favorites definitely are Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith. Starts off that way. Love it. Another one is School's Out, Alice Cooper. School bell rings, and who doesn't love to sing School's Out? Free Ride from Edgar Winter. Everybody's cruising, everybody having a good time. Free Ride. Another one which I never really loved or heard until the movie was Hurricane by Bob Dylan. I didn't really know about that song or hear it or know anything of it, but I hear it and I love that song today. It's just super killer. ZZ Top's Tush, killer song from them. Rockin', Rollin', Texas, all that good fun stuff from the movies, 1975, 76, which is the area that it was on. Another one of my favorites is Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo.
Yes, all that stuff.
Man, yeah, you know what? You could just read off the whole track list on that one. It's great. It's really a who's who and what's what of that 70s rock sound.
Right.
It goes great with that movie. The movie, if I remember correctly, is set 1976. It takes place in.
Texas.
Great movie, dude. Great movie. What? If I'm not mistaken, I think the two guys that really are making like their breakthrough on that are Ben Affleck and Matthew McConaughey. I think are both.
I want to say that. I think that was one of Ben's first movies, and same thing with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I think they were
all right.
young actors, and still that movie they did such a great character. Everybody loves it.
Oh yeah,
cult following that it goes through. To finish up, Dazed and Confused. Tuesday's Gone from Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Totally great song.
Leonard Skinner, man, what underrated.
Definitely. And to end this, Summer Breeze, Seals and Croft. Small, soft, romantic, soft rock hit. Man, I love it. I still love it today. It reminds me of summer ending. So, say 3 weeks ago, if I was hanging out by the pool, hanging out outside watching the sunset, that's the song I'd want to hear. Summer Breeze.
When I think about that movie, the song that comes to my mind first is Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith. Mm-hmm. It opens the movie, the scene, the muscle cars rolling through the school parking lot, and then you look, it's not on the soundtrack. It's not on the soundtrack. I'm like, what's going on here? Steven Tyler, give him the rights. What's going on here? I mean, to me, when you're watching the movie, it sets the tone of the movie. In my opinion, Aerosmith's best song.
Okay.
And I just can't. I don't know. There must have been something going on with legal or in some way or other. They couldn't get it on the album.
Correct.
borderline criminal, but everything else on that album is
super killer.
Is
I mean,
really good.
that's one of those other two soundtracks. Before you do that, the other movie that Richard Linklater did was a nod to Dazed and Confused, almost a spiritual sequel. It's called Everybody Wants Some, which is now set in the 80s in Texas. Going from there, same thing. Now the kids are Dazed and Confused. The kids were leaving high school. Now these guys are entering college from start of the movie. Not a lot of super duper songs that I would say moved me, but some of the highlights from there, My Sharona, The Knack, starts it off. One that I wouldn't say I'm a fan of, but I do know it and probably could, spew off a couple of lyrics. Would be Rapper's Delight, The Sugar Hill Gang. It's just that is a great song from the 80s and just kind of has a moving groove that everybody loves. Some of the other songs, Shake Your Groove Thing, Peaches and Herb, and Gary Newman's The Cars. Some of those songs are just...
I don't think I've seen that movie.
It's great. It's a good, fun movie, dude. It's very similar to Dazed and Confused. Like I said, it's a light tribute or a light sequel to these type of movies. Another good one from the Richard Linklater.
Love it. I'm going to have to check it out. But before I do, I'm going to have to cut loose. Everybody cut foot loose. Come on now. Do you know I had to go there? Who, Mr.
Now,
80s.
Are you talking about the original or the remake?
What remake?
Oh, they did a remake.
No, they didn't.
They did.
No, they didn't.
They did.
No, they didn't.
Okay. They didn't.
I know they did.
No, they didn't.
I know they did, but they didn't.
Just like Karate Kid, they didn't do a remake.
No. That's Cobra Kai.
No.
The Hilary Swank version?
Oh. No, I'm talking about the other one.
What other one?
Jaden Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I don't recognize
that.
That
Doesn't even exist.
I don't recognize it.
We'll digress.
All right. Well, let's go back to some Footloose.
Footloose. One of my favorite movies of all time. I can't get enough of Kenny Loggins. I can't get enough of Kenny Loggins.
You said he was coming back.
I told you he was coming back, guys. I told you he was coming back. You can't escape the Loggins, man. And, Footloose, Kevin Bacon, Laurie Singer. What a great movie. Big town boy from Chicago, moving to a small town. I believe it's in Colorado, and they have this law against music and dancing, and he just doesn't understand what's going on with this town. Of course, it's religious, and those are the reasons, and you find out other things that have happened, with the families that have lived there. But man, that soundtrack is just, from the beginning, obviously the whole opening, scene, or the whole opening of the movie with, the credits of, who's in the movie and stuff, is playing Footloose. It's got the feet dancing. How great, it starts out the movie, just on the right beat, on the right foot, I guess you should say. But, the song that really, whenever I hear it, reminds me of the movie is The Girl Gets Around.
Oh yeah.
From the whole scene when they're driving the trucks down the car and the truck down the street, the semi starts coming. Laurie Singer's character is has one foot in the car, one foot in the truck. Here comes the semi. What are you gonna do? Preacher's daughter. It's all there, guys. It's all there. If you haven't seen it, it's another. We keep saying it, man. You guys should be keeping a list. I need everybody to go buy a little pocket notebook, keep a list for your go back and checkouts, so you guys can go see and see all the things that we're demanding you see to keep along. But man, that scene is it really shows how her character is defiant. John Lithgow plays her father, who's the pastor. That's kind of like the father figure for the whole city. And it just kind of really shows how defiant she is, because right after that, they go to the little, I think it's called the Tip Top or whatever, that little drive-in diner that they go to. And No, here they go. They're going to play another song, Dancing in the Sheets. That's got to have sexual connotations. It's about sex. You know, they're playing that. There she is again, going against her father's wishes for the whole town. And, you know, of course, he shows up and he's like, "Oh, thought your mom didn't think you had any money to go out tonight. Here's some money." He just walks away. And it's kind of like, all right, dude, almost uncomfortable. Another great song, dude, is Almost Paradise.
Right?
We got to talk about Almost Paradise.
Two great singers coming together to make one great romantic song.
Yeah, we got Mike Reno from Loverboy.
Yeah.
And then we have Ann Wilson from Heart. And, man, when you talk about not a power ballad, it's just a ballad, love song. It's, in my opinion, it's not a power ballad. It doesn't have that feel, but man, it's from that era, from the 80s. It's probably one of the better, love songs, and it fits in that movie well. And man, it's two great singers doing a great song, and it's Almost Paradise. Almost Paradise. Let's hear it for the boy. Holding out for a hero when he's, dancing, in the train station or whatever that little area is.
Barnyard or something.
Yeah, the barnyard. There's the credit song at the end, I'm Free by Kenny Loggins. Like I told you guys before, whenever he's doing a soundtrack, he's going to say, hey, I need a spot on side A, I need a spot on side B, I need 2 songs. He got his 2 songs. I can't say enough about this soundtrack. I mean, when it first got released, the original soundtrack, it only had 9 songs. 9 songs. The one song that, for me, as a metal fan, that I was disappointed that's not on the original was Bang Your Head by Quiet Riot. One of your favorites. You were talking about that in a previous episode that we did. They did a 15th anniversary re-release of the soundtrack, and that was actually on there. I think that's the copy that I own. It has Bang Your Head, Hurt So Good by John Cougar Mellencamp,
nice.
Waiting for a Girl Like You, and another song, a remix song. But man, those 3 songs, they're in the movie. I don't know why they weren't on the soundtrack. Again, it must have been something to do with legal. It must have been something to do with something where, like, no, that's our song. We're going to release it on our own because we want to sell our album, not your soundtrack.
Right? They could have done that too.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Another movie which I would like to talk about, another one of my wife's favorites, called Singles. This is set in the 90s in Seattle. And that whole soundtrack, I want to say, takes a bit and piece of the Seattle sound from the movie. Some of the standouts, Alice in Chains' Wood. That song, first time I heard it, I think it was on this soundtrack that I heard, or the movie. Totally loved it. It's just starts off slow and goes into a banger, man. I love it. Breathe from Pearl Jam. Chris Cornell does I don't want to say acoustic, but does a song by himself called Seasons. Very beautiful. Battle the Evermore from Love Mongols, which is 2 bands coming together to form one band, a Led Zeppelin cover.
Yeah, that's the Ann and Nancy Wilson side project that they did. I forget who are the other.
I think it was Jerry Cantrell.
They had some other.
Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
did that. And then another song which I love from there is a song called Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns from Mother Love Bone, which Mother Love Bone in the Seattle area was, a band that was on the verge of making it. But this is one of their songs that's just absolutely great, beautiful. You can't get enough of that song, man. There's just so much. Another hidden songs on there, a song from Jimi Hendrix, May This Be Love. That was not a very popular song from him, but, I mean, they took it, threw it in there, and it definitely works well because Jimmy definitely is part of, I wouldn't say the 90s Seattle scene, but, I think he lived in Seattle, in his day. And then to end the soundtrack is Drown from Smashing Pumpkins, which obviously is a great hit.
Yeah, as much as it pains me, I miss the whole boat on Singles.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm from Washington, the Great Northwest. I don't know. Maybe it was, I don't know. I just missed it. And I do know most of the songs that you're talking about. And yeah, they are, you know, the gem on that one is Wood I love Wood by Alice in Chains. Of course, they released that as a single.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's a band we need to talk about sometime because they don't get the due. They're kind of lumped in with the rest of those bands. And but yeah, I haven't seen that movie, so you know, I got to go back and watch it. You know, I'm gonna bust out my little notebook that I got.
Put it on your list.
I got it on my list that I need to go back. If you haven't seen it, go back. Gregg is commanding you and demanding that you go back and watch it.
Singles, yeah. Another fun date movie. Just something easy you can watch. Don't have to get in depth in the storyline or anything because it tells about 4 or 5 different storylines. But easy watch, good fun date night movie to watch too.
So who's singles? You know, do you remember who were some of the actors or anything that were in that movie off the top of your head?
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon, and I know I'm kind of springing this question on you right now, but I do remember Matt Dillon. That didn't have Ethan? That's Reality Bites, I think I'm thinking of, that had Ethan Hawke in it.
Correct.
I can't remember. Sorry to spring that question on
it's
you.
All right.
This is live podcasting. We're just going by the seat of our pants here.
Bridget Fonda was the other one.
Oh, Bridget Fonda.
She was definitely in that one. Campbell Scott, Kara Sedgwick were some of the main actors on that one.
Okay.
Of course, Matt Dillon. That's all that I would say would definitely.
We'll have to go check it out. It's in my notebook. Everybody write it down in theirs. I'm going to switch gears up and kind of rewind it back to the 70s, the good old 70s, and we're going to talk about a movie. It was originally a musical, stage musical. I seem to be talking about these a lot. You know, I enjoy them. Grease.
Oh,
That's the one we're going to talk about.
all right.
You've already talked about John Travolta. You've already talked about Olivia Newton-John. Let's put them together.
All right.
Grease to me is just a fun movie. Are you into Grease?
I love Grease. I that's one of those movies that's, even if I'm watching TV and it kind of, Grease is on, half the movie's over or it just started, leave it on, start singing them songs, man.
Yeah, you know, it starts off, you know, they run the credits at the beginning. The Grease song is playing at the beginning. Grease is the word. And, you know, that, love it. But the big song on the beginning of that is Summer Nights.
Right.
The beginning. You know, John Travolta's character is telling his guys, the T-Birds, you know, I met this girl. Sandra Dee is telling her girlfriends, you know, she's new at school. She was from Australia. She just moved there. She's telling all of her friends about this guy she met. But it's so hilarious of how their stories of what happened different. He's like,
right?
Yeah, we got down and dirty. We got nasty. You know, 70s,
we did that.
musical version of getting down and nasty. And hers is like, he was so nice. He was a gentleman and all this stuff. And
held my hand.
That's right. Tell me more. And, you know, it's just so funny. But, man, that song just really knocks it out of the park for me on that movie. I mean, you get the dance choreography with the T-Birds, you know, going across the bleachers, and they're, you know, macho, like, tell me what happened. And he's like, we got down in the sand. Man, fun song. Really kind of sets the tone for she's a sweetheart. He's, quote, unquote, a bad boy, but he's really got a heart of gold, and he really does like this girl. He's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy.
Is he number one bad boy?
No, he's not the number one bad boy.
But, you know, he's got a heart of gold, and he likes this girl, but, you know, he's got to put up this front in front of his friends. But, you know, then you know, obviously, you know, the movie, I believe, takes place back in the 50s, if I remember my timeline correct. So we're racing cars. We got rat rods. We got stuff like that. Grease Lightning. You know, they're building their car, and Grease Lightning is the name. What they decided to name their car. So, you know, we got to sing a song about that. And that's
right.
Another song that when you hear it, oh, I gotta watch this too. And Grease Lightning is just a macho song, and
Right.
we're gonna sing about our car and how awesome we are, and how awesome our car is, and how awesome our car makes us, and that kind of
Exactly.
stuff. But I think that probably the song that most people take away from that movie is "You're the One That I Want." That's the song that pretty much ends the movie. You know, Sandra Dee and Danny Zuko, who's Johnny Travolta's character, end up being together. And, you know, they do the little duet, "You're the One That I Want." And, you know, if you haven't heard that song, just go to a karaoke bar. You're going to hear it. Just go to a karaoke bar. You're going to hear, you know, two people go up there singing "You're the One That I Want." It's a great song. She turns bad girl, but then he's kind of like, you don't have to be bad girl, but he likes the fact that she turned bad girl. You know, she's all dressed in black instead of her like poodle dress and shit. But man, it's a great song for the end of that movie. You know, it's love that movie. It's like you said, it's one of those movies that no matter where it is, if it's on TV and you're just flipping, you're gonna stop and you're gonna watch it. Oh, it's the end. I'm gonna watch it. It just started. I'm gonna watch it. It's halfway through. I'm gonna watch it.
Exactly.
There's a commercial going on. I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know.
Commercials, fine. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Love it. And you know, another one of those, you know, movies where it's not you know, like background music, you know, because it's a musical, so you got the actors are actually singing the songs. You know, can't get enough of it. Can't get enough. One of the other songs that I really like, gosh, what was the one that "Hopelessly Devoted to You"?
Yes.
That was the one song that they made that was an original, that wasn't in the original stage production, the Grease production that they did original for Olivia Newton-John. She sings it out on the porch, you know, in the slumber party. But besides that, it all stays true to the musical, and love it. Can't get enough of it. And, you know, if you guys haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been living. Put it in your notebook.
Nice. Another movie I want to bring up is the Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino. Like we've talked about this guy, man. Quentin Tarantino knows how to put a soundtrack together. I mean, I think he makes his movies and he has so many soundtracks, or has soundtracks which he knows that he wants to put into there.
You know, sometimes it's almost like, I got these songs. What can I do to make a movie around them?
Right? I mean, it kind of feels that way too. I mean, from being the opening Mr. Lou from Dick Dale, you know, that coming on, that riff.
Yeah, dude, that's really sets a tone for the movie right there. You know,
Right?
You're watching. The first time I saw it was in the movie theater, and boom, Pulp Fiction comes up. You know, it's just like that was the first time I really heard Dick Dale too. And one of the good thing about soundtracks is you hear songs from different genres that you're not ever going to hear from anywhere else.
Correct.
Because they're in the movie, and you're like, who is that? Now I got to sit through the credits to see who that was, because I want to know who it was, because I'm going to go find more stuff by them, because that song was killer. And that Ms. Lou by Dick Dale, when I heard that, I go, I got to find more by that guy. And I found more, and I love it all.
God, and another one which I loved was Jungle Boogie, Cool in the Gang. Son of a Preacher Man was definitely one of those songs that were just out of control. Girl, you know you'll be a woman soon, from Urge Overkill.
Oh, yeah, I think that was that song. I think was that made for the movie that they said?
I'm not sure,
because I remember it being on MTV right around that same time. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's just the way I recollect it.
Definitely.
I don't know. You know, Pulp Fiction. The thing I remember most about Pulp Fiction, obviously the music, was that was a big comeback movie for the John Travolta that we just talked about in Grease.
Yeah, definitely.
He was really not doing anything.
Correct.
And, you know, I don't know what circumstances allowed him to get back into that movie, but man, that was a really big comeback for him, because after that, it was stratospheric for him, and he just was a box office smash in every movie.
Correct. From
that
that
was
mind,
in.
yeah.
Every movie. Yeah, that soundtrack's got a lot of Lot of good tunes. Great movie.
You know about that? A lot of people do the dialogue. Like, Quit knows how to talk and write dialogue for people. And some people like to do the quotes, hey, this, hey, that, the Big Kahuna Burger, or that scene with the Ezekiel, the people want to talk about. But, man, that's good movies, man. That really is a good one.
Who's Zed? Whose bike is this? It's Zed's. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby.
Dead, baby.
Zed's dead. Yeah, love it. I haven't seen that movie in a while, man. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. I haven't seen it years, maybe. I mean, it's not on TV much. It's one of those ones you gotta kind of find and put on yourself, I guess.
Right.
Another movie that I want to bring up that is right up our alley and really hits it out of the park for both of us is Rockstar.
Ooh, definitely.
My other boy, Mark Wahlberg. So we got Keanu, we got Patrick, we got Mark Wahlberg. Those are my guys.
The trifecta.
The trifecta right there. This movie, Rockstar, really was not that big when it got released. It was kind of flopped in the box office.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that big. But man, the soundtrack is fucking killer, dude. It is killer because they made, stay with me, folks. So the band that plays in this, the band that plays in this movie is a fictional band.
Yes.
But it's made up of just killer musicians. Like it's almost like a who's who of artists here. Let's see. You got obviously the one that most people know is that the guitar player, Zakk Wylde.
Yes.
Obviously played with Ozzy. Played with Ozzy for years, since he was, a teenager. I believe Crazy Baby, was it Crazy? Yeah, Crazy Babies,
Mm-hmm.
I think was the first album he plays. He has a sound that you just cannot escape. Jeff Pilson plays on bass from Dokken. Very familiar. We've talked about Dokken before. Jason Bonham, who's John Bonham's son, is on the drums. He has his own John Bonham experience that he tours with, where they play, Led Zeppelin songs. And then, they had two singers. Jeff Scott Soto.
Yes.
Was one of the singers, and then the other singer they have is Milenko Matijevic, who was the singer of one of the bands I've talked about previously, which is Steelheart, and he's the one that hits those high, just like not screaming, but just can hit those falsetto notes. Man, the soundtrack on this album is just
right up our alley.
Right up our alley, and. The good thing about this soundtrack is they did something that I think was really smart. Not only did they take the songs that Steel Dragon, the fictional band we're talking about, did, they put in let's put in some other stuff. So, okay, I may not trust the Steel Dragon stuff, but you know what I do know? I do know Wild Side from Motley Crue.
Right.
I do know Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, and I know Stranglehold by Ted Nugent. These are songs that they put in there that, people know. Lick It Up by Kiss. People know these songs. So they had a great combination of these originals by, if you follow rock and roll music at all, you know who all these artists are. And they made this band that is just like basically a super group.
Right.
Well, they should have made more stuff because the music's phenomenal. The music is phenomenal. Dude, this is my gym mix, dude. All over the place, dude.
Just the soundtrack or what?
Dude, Blood Pollution.
Right?
Dude, Blood Pollution is like one of the best songs. Stand Up, I love. Wasted Generation,
right?
Long Live Rock and Roll. I mean, all of them are so great. And then also, when you watch the movie, the way it kind of ends is just like in real life. It's here comes alternative, the rock thing dies,
right?
But still, the songs the song that he sings at the end of the movie in the little coffee shop, Colorful. That actually was sung by the Verve Pipe, if I remember correctly. That's a killer tune.
That was a killer tune, man.
Killer.
I love it.
I
love that song.
So his girlfriend in the movie is Jennifer, played by Jennifer Aniston, and they they break up because he's just too
Out of
alcohol,
control,
drugs,
yeah.
out of control, rock star, and she just loves him, but she just can't see him go through it anymore. Their ways separate, and then she comes back and they see each other at the end, and he
In a little small club,
a little
full
small
of
little
10 or
club,
20 people.
yeah, and she sees it like this. He's himself again. He's just doing it because he loves it, and this is what. And it's just a great ending. It pulls at the heartstrings a little bit. It makes you say, okay, it doesn't have to be all grandioso and like that. But man, that movie's great. Dude.
That is.
It's great, and it's actually based. I'm sure you know this, but just tell our fans, it's actually kind of loosely based on a true story. When Rob Halford left Judas Priest,
Yes.
and then they were finding their replacement, and they plucked just. I think they got him out of a tribute band.
Correct.
Ripper Owens,
Yeah.
and he became their singer, and
For one cycle of an
for
album.
one album cycle, and then they took I think a little bit of a break, and then Rob Halford came back. But man, that one of my favorite scenes in that movie, just quick, is when he first auditions for the band.
Yes.
When he first auditions for the band, and he first time he doesn't sing it. The second time he doesn't like it, and he wants to do it one more time, and then he nails it, dude. It's great. Love that movie. Can't say enough about it.
There's a actor in there, one of our favorite singers, Michael Starr.
Oh,
So
yeah.
He was the guy before he walked in. Mark Wahlberg walked in, and he was like, leaving, and that was his cameo.
Michael Starr from Steel Dragon.
Steel Panther.
Oh yeah, Steel Panther. That's right. Sorry, Steel Dragon's the band in the movie. Steel
Yeah,
Panther.
Steel Panther.
Sorry, Michael. If you ever listen to this, which you probably will. Everybody
I'm sure
will.
everybody will. Yeah, dude, great movie. I can't say enough of that movie. And love it, dude. There's just so much good stuff on it, man. One other movie I want to bring up, which I probably want to close with, is a soundtrack, which is the movie. I want to say stunk, but the soundtrack was awesome. Just Another Victim.
Okay.
Soundtrack. Now with this one, they took the best of the rap world with the best of the rock world and kind of collaborated these guys together. Just a few songs just to say about it. Helmet and House of Pain do the song called Just Another Victim. If you get a chance to hear the soundtrack, if you like rock and rap, new metal, it's really up your alley.
What's the movie?
Just Another Victim. Judgment Night. Sorry. Judgment Night.
So, I didn't want to have to correct
Dude,
you.
no,
but-
correct me. Judgment Night. And then Ice-T and Slayer do Disorder. I think that's a cover song from a punk band. And then Freak Mama, which is from Mudhoney and Sir Mix-a-Lot. You're not thinking these guys, mixed together, two different worlds, but it comes together. I think this soundtrack from Judgment Night really squeezes it together.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where the soundtrack is better than the movie. And, to me, the song that I really take away from it is Biohazard and Onyx. Onyx was a big rap group before, 4-person rap group. They had that big song Slam that was everywhere. But they did the title track Judgment Night, and that, for me, that was a standout track from that album. But this was a time before, the rap rock revolution even started. So
Correct.
It wasn't, and really wasn't embraced. It took a little while, but it was before, your Corns, your Limp Biscuits, and all that kind of, rap rock kind of thing that it really took off.
Yeah.
10 years before, maybe even more. And it's great soundtrack. You guys got to go check it out.
So
Check it
before
out.
we say goodbye to you guys and end this, there are two standout singles from a movie which I got to talk about. One is definitely Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes from Say Anything.
Oh yeah.
That movie, I think that scene where he lifts up his boombox and plays that song for the girl is, iconic pop culture, but beautiful song, well written, and plays perfectly for that scene. And another song I wanted to say, and I'm going to end it on this one, is Young Guns 2, John Bon Jovi's Blaze of Glory. I think he just took I don't want to say a rest or, just wanted to jam with a bunch of other guys, and they made this album. They made all the songs for Young Gun 2, And that song, Blaze of Glory, was just, man, it could have fit in any of those Bon Jovi albums.
Yeah.
But
oh, for sure.
it was just a little bit different, maybe not as pop metal, but it's still good, still exciting.
It fit the song, or fit the movie perfectly.
Very well, yeah.
It fit the movie,
a little bit of
it perfectly.
Outlaw countries feel to it and stuff.
I remember that music video, dude, where he's like up on these plateaus wearing like just like the
fringe.
Native American chest piece, like made out of bone or whatever it is, dude. I'm like, oh, this is it right here. Look at John flaunting it out. Get it. I got to tell you, Greg, I wish we could just go on and on and on, because in my mind, I got all these movies, all these songs, all these things I want to talk about. And don't think that, I know people are yelling, oh my God, they didn't talk about this. They didn't talk about this. They didn't talk about that. They didn't talk about this. Dude, we got them all. We just don't have the time, unfortunately. And before we sign off, I'm not going to talk about it. But one movie that is killer, the soundtrack is killer. Is Bohemian Rhapsody. I just got to throw it out there. We'll talk about it another day. We're just running out of time. Love it. It's got great live tracks that they put in there with the studio tracks. It's got the whole Live Aid show on there. Go to your Apple, go to your Spotify, listen to it today. It's going to blow you away. Freddie Mercury, best frontman in the history of rock and roll, in the history of music. I just want to say that. We will talk about that movie. We'll talk about that soundtrack on another episode.
All right. Sounds good. So for Chris and Greg at Big Talk, goodbye so long. Thank you very much for listening to us. Questions, comments, concerns, you know how to reach us. So we're going to sign off. See ya. Thanks a lot.